What would I do if I was a woman for a day? I would go shopping for chocolate shoes.
I'd probably take that little pink floral dress I've got in my wardrobe and wear that without fear of getting caught.
Well, ignoring the obvious spending all day in the shower type answer.
I think at the moment I would help breastfeed my new baby little girl. 4 boobs are better than 2.
I think I'd probably get a map and get in the car and see if it really is that hard to find out where the hell you are.
Well, I wouldn't be pregnant, that's for sure, because that's pretty horrendous.
I think if I were a woman for a day, I would probably just enjoy the luxury of having some hair.
A good piece of concept art should take a basic idea that you've been given and imbue it with all the atmosphere possible. My favourite concept art that I've done has been generally the villagers and the creatures in Fable 2, especially the villager work that I've done. I hope I can see my influence in the style of the people in Fable, the style of the creatures. I hope that there's a little bit of darkness and a little bit of weirdness in there that's me.
Fitting the world and the characters together is really best handled at the concept stage to make sure that everybody's on board with the general idea.
The art in Fable 2 obviously has a large technical kind of component to it. The most important thing is not to let the technology stand in the way of our artists.
We do have a pipeline basically where artists will create a character and then they will pass it on to our technical animator Emilio, who will then rig the model, which is basically giving the shell a skeleton inside so we can move it and create our animations with it.
At the moment I'm just doing some polishing to the male hero's skin. So I'm rendering out from ZBrush skin materials on a high-res mesh.
We have a dynamic time of day, and when you start looking at the current generation of consoles and the type of complicated pre-computed lighting that we have to do to make the world feel, really kind of alive, to do that with a dynamic time of day is actually, quite a tricky job. So that's one of the things we do. Also, we allow you to walk from outside straight into a house, pretty much any house in the game. Coping with the lighting and just the sheer amounts of memory it takes to store all of this stuff is really kind of complicated. So there are a lot of key kind of technology choices that really bring the Fable world to life. I think there's a few things that we do that other games don't do. For a start, our morphing hero is definitely something that other games really don't do. There's a lot of emphasis in other games of customising your hero, but having a hero evolve dynamically as you play the game is a real challenge for us. The morphs in Fable 2, are they going to be as extreme as we've hinted at? Yeah, they really are. I mean, we had this technology in Fable 1. We've got grand visions, as anybody who's ever listened to Peter will know.
All of the classic morphs from Fable 1 are back, really. So we've got all the strength, the fat ones, the thin ones. We've also got the good and evil ones there, but this time there's kind of another added dimension to it. In Fable 2, we've kind of said, well, that's all very important and interesting and whatever else, but we haven't really measured what you're like as a social individual. We haven't looked to see whether you're, I don't know, are you a gambler? We kind of looked at all the things that people were asking, sort of things like university purity tests. Have you ever kissed anybody? And we're kind of measuring those things throughout the game this time. And our hope is that we'll be able to bring those into the good and evil morphs and add a little bit more depth, so you don't kind of get the same, I'm evil, I look this way. This time it'll be, I'm evil, I look this way, and you can also tell what I'm like with other people as well.
We've still got tattoos, we've got makeup this time round, and obviously the bank of clothing and outfits is far larger than in Fable 1. So all that is customisable, interchangeable, so if you want to wear your chicken hat with your corset and your high boots, you can.
You can make the hero look as cool as you want, or you can make them look, you know, a complete fool, the real clown around town.
What we want to do this time is make sure that you feel the terror of impending death, but this time kind of take the sting out of the risk by saying, okay, we're not going to rewind the game for you. You will lose something, you will lose some experience, but we're not going to force you to play that bit of the game again, because you're obviously having some difficulty with it. So what we're going to do instead is take the experience from the environment around you and use that for your kind of your one last heroic struggle. You'll rise up, kind of burst up with energy, and everybody will go flying, and da, 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 the music will swell, and you'll feel very heroic for that moment.